In dealing with human liberty, you say modern man's view of freedom is the same that Satan asserts, and that's you're talking about the Inferno here,
Right.
and that Dante and almost the entire pagan and Christian traditions before him rejected. It is the sheer exercise of will.
Right.
I am free to the extent that the state cannot tell me that I cannot do as I please.
Right. We don't have to go to Christian scripture for this. And it's amazing how much we've lost because of our stupid abandonment of the wisdom of the ages. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "You can put manacles on my hands and fetters on my feet, but you cannot take away my freedom." And what he's talking about there is, of course, a moral freedom, spiritual freedom. Everybody who talked about liberty until rather recent times understood that license was not only just a distortion of liberty. License was enslaving.
Right.
It was the antithesis of
The
liberty.
death of liberty. You
It's
put
the
it,
death
right?
of liberty.
The death
yeah.
and liberty. This is because man's liberty is for his perfection.
Yeah.
Right.
And as Leo says, a shocking thing for people to hear now, why human beings come together in society. They most obviously come together because no one person can provide for all of his material needs. You know, somebody's got to be a farmer, somebody's got to take the iron ore out of the mountain, somebody's got to look after the small children. But the real reason for society, the bigger reason, the better reason, is that we come together in these friendships for our moral perfecting. And so to suppose that liberty means you can do as you please so long as you don't step on other people's corns, that has just banished from our view the reason why we have societies in the first place.
You say a state that rejects the natural law will fall, but before it falls, I thought this was interesting, its subjects will be conscripted to brace themselves against its walls whether they like it or not. That sounds familiar. Leo is relentless about this. Liberalism, atheism in civil matters is one step from tyranny. And the other thing, you make the point here, you talk about innovators in here. I thought it was interesting.
Pope Leo, right. Pope Leo thinking in Latin.
Right.
And he's classically trained.
Right.
Okay? The worst thing that you could call somebody in ancient Rome in the days of the Republic was an innovator.
Right.
Because it meant some unscrupulous person who wanted to change the way we're doing things. When the way we were doing things is reliable, we rest upon the wisdom of our ancestors. Now, the Romans could take this to an extreme, but still, the principle remains. The burden of proof is always on somebody who wants to change things. Now, people who have one kind of cleverness up here and a certain amount of power, a certain amount of money, they can, building on false principles but that seem true to them, they can wreak untold damage, leveling all the fine things that people have labored so hard over many centuries to establish culturally. You have a wasteland.
Right.
Or what Leo calls a simulacrum of a society, like a phantom, of a zombie of a
That's
society.
where phantasm gets used at the beginning of the book quite often.
Yeah, phantasmata are just hallucinations almost, notions that have no basis in reality. But almost nobody talks in those terms now.
Not anymore. We don't want anybody to feel bad.